Hello there.
Are we going? I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm currently on Twitch, so.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm doing really bad at this right now.
It's fine. I stream primarily on Twitch anyway, so.
I see that I see an advertisement, so I guess I can link this out.
Well, you're.
I'm sorry we got our wires kind of crossed when we discussed this. I was completely confused.
Oh, it's fine.
Do on Twitch.
Yes.
Do on Twitch mostly. Is it gaming? I'm not even really all that familiar with Twitch. Am I not coming through? I'm not hearing anything. Everything's gone quiet.
Oh, well, I'm just setting things up. Don't mind me.
Okay, you're still setting things up.
Yes. Also, since this is an IRL stream, I should probably use the face cam overlay. Anyway, thanks for joining me here, GodlessIowan. Welcome to the stream.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. And thank you for your wife, Mrs. Snarky, for following. Much appreciated.
I think I have a Twitch account. I just don't remember the login at the moment. My brother actually runs a Twitch channel, and I logged onto there to mess with him. So, because I'm a good brother that way. So I do have an account. I just don't remember what it is right now.
Oh. Updating things, making sure things work. Streaming is hard, especially when you're me.
No problem.
But yeah, if you want to tweet out or even just post it in your Discord, that's fine.
Do that. At least if I go to my Discord, is it going to knock me off the voice chat in this one?
No. You can switch between servers if you're talking to someone else in another one.
Well, I will add this then. Oh, we're on my server. Okay, so I'm back. And I think I already tweet it out? I think I did.
I think you did, yes.
Yes. All right. So I think that my technical shortcomings have been overcome a bit.
A little bit, I guess. I don't know. At least you're learning, right?
Yes. I remember the first time I got a Discord invite, and I was like, well, what the hell is a Discord? And followed the invite, and I still said, well, what the hell is a Discord? Because it didn't make any sense to me at first.
Discord is basically a talk and chat service. Essentially. So, how's your day going so far?
Oh, pretty good. I can't really complain. I mean, the weekend's starting, so
Potential
for me.
3-day weekend for me.
Oh yeah?
Heritage Day is Monday, and that's not a stat though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I just get the 2 days off and then back to work, but should be an easy week because my boss is on vacation, so quite be bugging me as much as normal. That'll work.
Yep.
Did you say Heritage Day?
Yes.
What's Heritage Day?
It's basic. Heritage Day is essentially the civic holiday for Alberta for the 6th of August.
Okay.
Some people take that day off, others don't.
It's not really not mandatory to take it off. It's just kind of if you want to.
It depends if you have Alberta Pride or not. It's basically a
Okay.
province holiday. A provincial holiday, nothing more. Hello, spooky bed hair. Welcome to the stream.
Suki said that I sound British in my last stream. Someone would say I sound British, and someone else was saying that I sound like a Brit, and that's the first time I've ever heard that.
I've talked to actual British, and you don't sound like one, so.
Yeah, exactly. They say they're from Britain and that I sound British, but I don't think I sound British. It's just I don't know why Spooky was trolling me during my last stream.
Because people troll people for no reason.
I guess. It's just that I don't have a very pronounced accent, is what he said. Well, an Iowa accent is actually called a neutral accent. Did some kind of study years ago about where the best place would be for an English speaking call center. And the Midwest, Iowa and Kansas and Nebraska were places that they said sound neutral enough that you don't come off as condescending to anyone and you come across as close enough to them that you could be a friend.
You could pass, Spooky says.
Well, good governor, I'll be over for some tea, I guess. I'd crumpets or something along those lines. Hey ho.
So, do you play any games, Godless GI?
I did just pick up No Man's Sky. That it had gotten a lot better since it
Was
debuted.
first released, where it was essentially early access.
It's first released. I know all the reviews were negative, and I played it for just a short period of time and just couldn't get into it. But I've been playing it for about the past week. It was on sale, so I got that. Outside of that, I play like Ark Survival Evolved, and then I play a lot of retro games.
Retro.
Yeah,
Have you ever played Commodore 64, Super Nintendo, stuff like that?
oh, yeah. I have a Retron 3. Do you know what that is?
No.
It plays Super NES and Sega Genesis games. I have played some Commodore 64, but that was slightly before my time. So mostly the systems that I really enjoy: NES, the Super Nintendo. Uh, Probably my favorite system of all time was the Dreamcast. Rest in peace.
I never played any of those. When I was growing up, I played GameCube, um, Xbox, the 360, and PS3. And my PS3 was lucky enough to have the ability to play PS2 games, so I played a lot of those.
Started out, we actually got our original Nintendo because I'm blind in one eye, and the eye doctor said that he had heard playing Nintendo would help with distance and depth perception, and so my parents bought us a Nintendo. So if I hadn't been born with one eye, I probably wouldn't even have gotten into gaming.
That would have sucked.
Yes. And Spooky says he started on a ZX Spectrum.
Z, what is this heresy? It's Z.
You know what? It's Z.
Z.
I will say Z.
Z.
I've come from America. D. Do you see a D? I don't see a D. I see a Z.
Z.
How do you spell Z?
Like what Spooky Bed's hair said in the chat?
So
Z?
then you spell Z Z-E-D.
No, that's how you sound it out, though. Hello there, Mrs. Snarky. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow earlier. I don't think you were here when I said thank you for the follow.
If I were to ask you though, how do you spell Z?
Z. Like just the letter. Z. There.
How do you spell Z? You would just put Z? That I don't understand you British blokes and Canadian fellows and all of your, see, we rebelled so that we could make sense of our language.
You guys also still use fucking Imperial.
We knew that you were headed towards the metric system, and we were like, no, we're not doing that. We are making our stand.
Well, I guess you guys are still making your stand because your country's still full of religiotards.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. The bad.
See, if you're just gonna say I'm stupid for saying Z, then I could say, well, your country's still stupid because it's highly religious.
It's true, but it's Z true. work at a call center, and anytime we called someone in like the Canadian provinces, we our pronunciation would tell us how to spell something out, like how to spell their name if we needed to, and it would always in big bold letters say, because if we were trying to spell out something and we spelled it the American way and said like, okay, so that's Z-E-B, they'd go, oh, you're American, and they'd get pissed off, and it was like, well, why are you so pissed that I'm American? I mean, it was obviously because we were just assholes that were calling at the middle of dinner, but hearing Z would just set people off.
I can understand that.
Hated that job, but that's how I learned about Zed. But I still don't accept that it's Zed. I don't understand. It's also, how is H? Why would you have the sound of it in the H is H? Zed. That makes no sense. We're just gonna argue.
Well, I guess you're also triggered by the fact that we spell what is it? Honor, neighbor, and all that other stuff with U's.
Sarah, you. Why do you have the U?
I don't know.
For a U. It's worth that. That's another reason why we rebelled from England, is because we were tired of writing out U's. Time to put a U in a word.
I have no idea what's going on. That's when you know you're old. Yeah.
We're twitching, and I'm gonna spell Twitch UITCHT just because I can.
I like this gut. He's a delight. I'm a gut to you, spooky pet hair? Or do you mean guy because you misspelled the word?
Oh no, he didn't misspell the word. See, that's how they spell it in the UK. I guess T makes a Y sound now.
I'm just playing you, spooky. Don't mind me. I'm having fun messing with GodlessIowan and with proper Canadian spelling. Pronunciation.
Proper Canadian spelling. That's when you need us to come up there and save you from all the polar bears.
Oh, we know how to deal with the polar bears. That's what the Inuit are for.
You're gonna wish you spelled things right.
I think I'm dying from laughter.
The Inuit, see, I've seen programs on them, and they dress really warm. But with global warming, that's going to lead them to die of heat exhaustion. And then the polar bears are going to come flying down, and they're just going to start taking you out, because we've been arming bears in the U.S. for years. It's one of our rights, the right to arm bears. So when that happens, you're going to need us, and you're going to start spelling things with Z and an H. From the polar bears.
Oh my god. Thank you for following. Spooky bed hair. Is my bot not showing things again?
I saw the little thing on the screen just now.
I know. I'm just saying. I use Streamlabs chatbot, and it's supposed to show a little thing when someone's following. So, and it didn't show anything when so they followed. So I'm kind of annoyed about that. Oh well. Such compelling dialogue. I hear sarcasm in that sentence.
Well, I think she spelled. There needs to be like 40 more U's for you to understand that sentence.
Nope.
Well, then why is compelling not spelled COUM? PELLING
No, no,
DIALOU?
No. You know that it's for words like honor and neighbor and shit. Compelling does not need extra U's, or even dialogue for that matter.
Dialogue needed. Dialogia. With Twitch, though, makes sense to have an O and a U, but you don't say color. Color.
No, it's color. We kind of
color.
We kind of just ignore the U, but we just
Why
have
is
it in
there?
our word.
Why is it there if you ignore it? That makes no sense.
It's like it's like silent letters in French words.
We're English speakers. We don't like the French, so
we have French in our country.
You have some up there. We have some in New Orleans, but we keep them in the swamp. So, you know what?
Oh my God, GI, we've had this discussion.
Don't care. I do not understand why you like. I could understand it if we were spelling it COU and saying color. Me, but you guys are like, oh no, you have to have the U. You have to have the U in the word because we're going to ignore it. Makes no sense.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Snarky. I've dropped like 382 frames so far. So, if it's been stuttering or anything, I'm very sorry. The U is charming. Oh, that Mrs. Snarky is dropping the beats right here.
The U is charming. Charming. We're gonna pronounce it from now on. We're gonna add a U to every word.
Well, then again,
you know why that U's there? That U is there so that when someone reads it, they read it wrong, and then your guy's like, they just pronounced that color because there's a U, but they don't realize the U isn't supposed to be pronounced.
Well, here in Canada, we also say A, but that's more of an end of sentence thing, to be honest, and is more than likely to be used in the same sense as right. You know, like say X sentence and then say right. So that's what the A in Canadian dialogue is for. It's more of an affirmation kind of thing, except in like New York or places like that, it's more of a dismissal. So how is it going, eh? It's kind of that kind of thing. Canadians use it more positively than Americans, from what I understand.
Americans would be like, "Hey, I'm walking here, hey."
Kind of.
The hell are you doing, eh? That's how. Hey, you over there. Hey. We would say hey when we don't know who they are. Hey.
Thank you very
Only not
much,
like
Walker
not
Trips, for the host.
not all. I have no idea what that means, but I'm just gonna go with it. Not all Canadians say a. I know that
No, not all of us
some
do.
a lot of my friends on like the coast of Canada don't really use that. More so like Alberta and
Oh, speaking of which, I am an Albertan.
in the Texas of Canada.
Exactly. Except the Texans of Canada are more of the trailer trash, and what is it, the Newfoundlanders that live here? They sound more like Texans than I've ever heard a Texan.
Well, I don't know that my Newfie friend sounds Texan, but I there is a lot of trailer trash in Texas as well. Um, I lived in a trailer when I was in Texas.
Oh yes, and there's a
Snark is a
little
real Texan.
yes, and there's a lot of rednecks in Alberta, unfortunately.
You don't have to be from the South to be redneck. You can be just
Yes, I know.
in like Alberta is it's the pictures I've seen of it are beautiful. It doesn't look like Texas, but you have a lot of rednecks. I don't know how that happened. How you had this beautiful country, beautiful province, and it's just amazing. And then you're like, oh, this is where we're going to put all our rednecks.
We don't have 100% rednecks here.
Well, no, you have the Hart family as well. They're cool people from
We
that province.
we also have a lot of Ukrainians and a lot of French as well. So just be prepared if you ever come visit here that there's going to be a lot of people with names that you can't pronounce and may offend, like mine, because my last name is Ukrainian.
Yeah, I was wondering on that because I've seen your last name. I don't know if you use your do you use your last name on your Twitch?
No, I just
Okay, then
use
I won't say
my
it.
I just but you can say it. I don't mind. But I will violently and maybe politely tell you that you're saying it wrong.
Oh God. Okay, so go with Nayirniak. Nayirniak.
No. Nah, her, Nick.
Okay, so you not only get rid of U's, but because your last name, you're going to get rid of an A.
It's also Ukrainian. So
A silent in
that's why the A is silent.
why why do we use silent letters? Why are they of any use? It makes no
Well,
like
it's not even English, so you can't even say why they use it because it's not even English to begin with. Yes, he is snarky.
Nahernik.
Yes,
Not
Nahernik.
Nahernik.
Yeah,
Nahernik. Okay.
yes, the HIR is treated as a her kind of sound.
Mrs. Snarky say he's really stuck on this letter thing, isn't he? Yeah, Mrs. Snarky. You know that when I get stuck on some topic, I'm going to be there for a while.
Uh,
Spooky Bedhair doesn't even realize that zeros do not spell, or I guess they're Zedros. Are they Zedros in your guys' language?
no, they're still zeros.
Hey, wait, how can they be zeros if it's Zed Rose, if it's a Z at the beginning? So I'm going to just say those are Zedros in Spooky Bedhair's name. And they don't pronounce the O sound. Those are Zedros.
You're really stuck up on this, aren't you?
His name is Spazedro Zedro Key Bedhair. Key Bedhair. There we go. Make this even better. Spazedro Zedro Key Bedhair. And the A are silent now because I said so. That's the thing. All of this stuff was made up at some point. Some point, somebody was like, "This is how we're going to spell it," and they were like, you put a U in there, and we don't really hear it when you say it. Oh, that's because it's silent. To spell all of these things at one point. They made it up.
But what about pH in certain words? And it just treated as an F. Does that mean we should just spell all those words with F's instead?
Really crazy is if you were spelling Philippines, it's PH, but if you say Filipino, it's FI. My sister is half Filipino, and that makes no sense. Why would it change to an F if you're talking about the person, but a PH if you're talking about the country? It would be like saying philosophy is spelled PH, but philosopher is spelled FI.
Yeah, that's just silly.
Zedro Brr said that it's prawn.
Oops, ignore that.
Call them shrimp. Stream was going to be about my issues with the English language. Pharmacia, yeah. Many issues. That's the thing. All language was made up. It's like back to colonial times. When you guys stuck with the queen and we were like, hey, suck you, whatever, because the was an F. If you look at their writing, they put an F instead of an S in a lot of words. Why would they do that? Too.
Yep, language is just weird.
It is. This is or does he twitches? Called twitching if you're on Twitch. Are you a twitcher? Kind of. That's close to a tweaker, but a twitcher.
I guess I'm a twitcher. I guess.
If you're on YouTube, you're a YouTuber. You'd be a twitcher, right? Or do you tweet on Twitch?
Learn
all the lingo so I can. I'm old. I need to know this stuff.
What was your question again? You kind of cut out sometimes.
I said, do you tweech on Twitch?
Tweech? What do you mean by tweech? I don't know what you mean.
Do you? I guess tweech would be to preach on Twitch. I don't know.
Oh, no, I do not do that at all. I'm not even Christian, so why would I preach on Twitch?
I don't know. So a lot of gamers preach about their favorite games.
Well, I don't really
People,
preach about games. If I like a game, I may recommend it to people, but that's about it.
a lot of people out there that are still trying to promote Destiny 2 as a good game, and it's not a good game. It's a microtransaction disaster.
Just like the first game, and yes, both games are horrible. And they're both awful grinds that suck. And I'm sorry, and if Godless Cranium is watching, I'm sorry, but your favorite game sucks.
They are awful games. I tried to get into both of them. I was told you have to play like 6 or 7 hours before you can even get into the first one. And I was like, well, screw that. And then I was told, well, the second one's way better. And I get into it, and like the first thing it asks me is for money. And I'm like, what game? Like, why would you ask me for money right out of the box?
Exactly. It just wants your money.
Like the
Because you
craziness.
know it's made by a gaming company that doesn't care about its consumers. It just wants to milk them dry of their money.
I hope is starting kind of a gamer revolution or a gaming revolution of like third party indie developers that are making really awesome games now.
Yes, this is a topic I can actually get into because A, there's developers like Warhorse Studios, CD Project Red, basically every single indie company that's been making game, Paradox, Interactive, Megacrit, the guys who do Space Pirates and Zombies, lots of other game companies that have been making and or developing games right now.
I mean, like the one of the worst is of course EA right now at trying to milk people dry. And their motto used to be EA, it's in the game. We'll say EA, it's in your pocket if you're willing to pay it.
Unfortunately, a lot of major companies now are in it for short-term gain. Fuck the consumer. Who cares about them, right?
Seems like is a lot of these big companies were like, we don't even have to release a finished product. Do is release a beta that's absolute shit and say that it is features that you have to unlock and purchase in order to be able to do these things. People just accepted it. They were like, "Oh, hey, if I want to be able to get across to this island that I should just to be able to jump across, I got to pay $5." That makes sense.
Right.
I got to pay $20 for this in-game sword that's going to break in 20 minutes.
Pay to win, right? It's just really stupid.
Discouraged from gaming for a little while there. And then I started playing games like Ark Survival Evolved.
Well, here's the
And
thing
then
about Ark. They released DLC before it ever exited early access.
yeah, that one was it's kind of weird. I mean, get you on that. But you could still play the game almost completely without the DLC. I'm not as against DLC as I am just the microtransaction stuff, if that makes sense. I used to buy expansion packs too. It was kind of the same thing as, but does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I just. It would just be great if certain games were, I don't know, feature complete and had quests that they could have just added into the main game at the start instead of selling it for later.
Oh yeah, I that kind of does bug me more. If there's a feature that you know to unlock, um, that ticks me off. If it's an actual downloadable content that comes later that you didn't know was coming, that's fine. But if it's on the disc or on the in the digital download that you download, um, you should be able to unlock that in game. It doesn't make sense. The extra.
Exactly. I mean, and then besides, there was a, like I used to play ESO, and one feature that they didn't have for a long time was jewelry crafting. And then when Somerset Isle came out, they added that as part of Somerset DLC, and only if you pay. Okay, how much was that DLC when it came out? I'm going to probably guess $40. $40 for a DLC with a feature that they locked behind the
It's crazy.
a paywall.
It's just crazy.
And it's not even all that great MMO to begin with. The only good expansion for the entire game has to be the one with the orcs, the Orsinium one. And that's about it.
That's like played it, but there's a game called Fishing Planet, and it's probably you might not even be into that kind of genre of game. Um, when it first came out, to win in-game currency, and you were able to buy your upgrades and stuff like that with the in-game currency that you earned. Then they updated it, and all of a sudden, all the stuff that you used to be able to earn, you had to buy exorbitant prices. Like in order to use a kayak that used to cost like an in-game currency was now $20 in real-world money. Just ridiculous. Even even the indies can sometimes go down that route to microtransactions, but I think you're going to have a lot of indie developers that make great games. The craziness of that, and those are going to be the directions that people actually end up going. I really wanted Battlefront 2 until I found out all about the microtransactions. And even when they go, oh, well, we're sorry, we're not going to do them yet, I'm not interested anymore.
Yeah, and then what? Oh, what were the game developers that were like, "Hey, we also have loot boxes, and you can pay for them." Oh yeah, it was Monolith and their game Shadow of War. And after several months, they actually patched it out. And but now their game is still tainted by the fact that everyone calls it Shadow of Loot Boxes still.
Exactly. And the whole loot box thing was just that's the biggest cash grab out there. It's like playing a slot machine trying to game. Like there's levels of idiocy there. Like you content fine, expansion pack fine. If you were actually going to be paying money for a specific weapon, I could even be fine with that. But then if you're playing for loot boxes where you have the chance of getting something good,
Yeah,
just that's just con artist.
especially if it's as random as, say, buying a pack of Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever card game you play and opening it up and you have the one guaranteed foil, but that's a land foil instead of what you wanted, and you get a bunch of crappy cards. There's a high chance of that in any kind of random assortment of stuff like that.
That's yeah.
Of course, Overwatch does it right. You can purchase loot boxes, but they're only for cosmetics.
Okay.
Only cosmetics. Of course, I don't understand why people would buy cosmetics because that's just retarded. But you can
Okay.
get cosmetics for your heroes, and that's about it. Voice, uh, what they say, little sprays you can put, and of course, different character designs that the developers made. And that's the only game where it makes sense and it is fair because you get a loot box every level and you can also get in-game currency like gold and then use that to buy loot boxes.
That's cool. And Overwatch does look really cool, like Mrs. Snarky said, but it is so fast. Watch someone play Overwatch. I'm just like, there's no way I could play this. There's too much going on the screen at any one time.
Yeah, and the fact that it is purely mostly PvP. It's basically you and five other people playing against another team of six.
I enjoy um I enjoy sleeper games, kind of that you can just take your time with. Um to like survival horror a lot. I haven't played much of that recently. I like stealth games, things that you can
Hmm.
just take your time. Do you know who Anti Ordinary is?
Anti-ordinary? Yeah, I know. I watched her before. Sometimes I get bored, so she's
We
cool.
her play Overwatch once, and we both just got dizzy while watching it. It was so fast paced.
uh, yeah. Well, after this stream, I might have to reduce the amount of kilobytes because I keep dropping frames like a madman, which is annoying me for no reason. Actually, for every reason. That's just me.
I get that.
What do I find interesting to watch, Miss Snarky? Well, I enjoy watching this man's content whenever I have time. I also enjoy watching Godless Cranium. Vice Rhino. I used to watch Devin Tracy, but not anymore. Um, and a lot of people within his group, but not anymore because they kind of had the same rhetoric and they would all just go on and on about superficial traits that no one really cares about. And I also liked watching Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and a lot of those gaming guys.
I like both of them. They're entertaining. I I don't watch much, very much gaming channels, but I can enjoy Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. Has a
Yes,
voice that's hilarious.
his
Jacksepticeye.
voice is amazing. I also watch PewDiePie when I want to.
I never got into PewDiePie when he started getting big. Um, no, I saw a couple of his videos. My kids were watching him, and he just came off as really annoying to me. Um, I never was able to get into him. But Jacksepticeye was the first real big gaming channel that I got into or watched him, and he's pretty funny. And then Markiplier kind of came along with that. Um, the diamond mine cart all the time.
uh, I also enjoy watching AceBack. As you can see, my channel has Reverend JR, so, and I like watching him. Brainboy20 is another YouTuber I like watching. Sevi Rose is another one whenever she's able to. And as well as Top Hat Shan Champagne and Nightmare Fuel. I think you guys know him.
Yeah, I like Nightmare Fuel.
I haven't seen
Agree
a
with him on everything, but I like Nightmare Fuel. He's not afraid to. And
yeah, he's not afraid to speak his mind, which is what I enjoy. Exactly, Mrs. Snarky. Exactly. Agreeing on everything is just really boring. You don't learn anything if you just agree on everything.
Snarky asked me what I enjoy. What do I enjoy watching? Um, Horn grow. Um, moving use from words. I like watching that stuff. Now, uh, I really like Godless Engineer. I like the Geek Room, or Godless Geeks is who they are now. Um, channels. I also like Anti Ordinary. Um, of course, I like Mrs. Snarky. And I guess outside of that, Odd Ones Out. I like that show on YouTube. Pretty funny. Or he's pretty funny. It's just one guy, I guess, but he's got some other animators. Watched Odd Ones Out.
Have I seen that? No.
You should check him out. They're hilarious. He's hilarious.
Ah.
Animated cartoon comedy show on YouTube.
There's a lot of those. Well, I primarily watch If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device, and I'm still waiting for part 2 of episode 26, because it hasn't came out since several years from ago. and I'm still waiting for the next part because
Yeah.
because that's a good show. Because if you don't know what that is, The Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device is based in the Warhammer 40k universe and is a parody made by fans.
Never seen that, but um, what the Warhammer game is. Well,
Do you know what Warhammer is?
I played it for. I didn't play it for very long, probably 2 or 3 months, years ago. So I know what it is.
Uh, hmm. Well, I'm so. Yes, thank you for coming, GodlessIowan. Been a pleasure
No
chatting
problem.
with you and to everyone else in chat here. So I am signing off. This has been Zorok Chaos, and welcome to the Chaos Base. Thank you all very much for being here. Hope to see you next time. And GodlessIowan, if you ever want to just hop on by when I'm just streaming, playing a video game, please just hop right in. I don't mind.
If I can remember my login, I'll do that. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, no problem at all. Thanks for joining me here today for Zorok's Talking Adventures. So, have a good one, everyone. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.